Hi everyone, my name is Misha and I am an animator. I work for the studio ED Films, and today I will be showing you all about character sheets, turnarounds, and rotation. So let's get started. So I'll be showing you how to do a character rotation in a second, but first, the first thing you have to do is do a drawing of your character in rotation. And then after, draw your character in action poses to describe or show their personality. So this is an example of a character rotation. Character rotations are used in animation and mostly in TV shows to have a reference for the character, because if not, then as you're animating the show, it can be easy to kind of draw the character the wrong way or to miss a detail. So many animation studios usually have character sheets for their characters. So basically how they make the character sheets is they draw their character from the front, and then 3/4 front, and then the side, and then 3/4 back, and then the back fully. And then after, they have lines on the sheets and on the paper so that everything matches up. So for example, this girl here, her eyes align throughout all the drawings, and even her ponytail aligns, and her shoulders align, and her hands align, and her pants, and even her knees, it's the same throughout all the drawings. It's the same like area, like they make sure everything lines up. And look, even the feet as well. It's very important to have everything line up, because if you send your character sheets to a studio, like for example, let's say your assignment is to do a character sheet or a character rotation, and if you send your character sheet to a studio and the elements on your characters, like, they don't line up, then you might not get the job. So like, let's say you're applying for an animation studio and they ask you to do a character lineup or a character rotation, and your elements, they don't line up, you might not get the job. So it's very important that everything aligns. I learned this at school. So here's another example, and here they have lines to just like align everything. And also what's really cool is if you animate your character rotation, it like looks really cool. Let me see if I can find one for you guys. So here's a good example of an animated turnaround. So they just took their character sheet and then they just put it in an animation. So it's really cool how that works, And then here's an example from the show Craig of the Creek. And here I put a tip. Always look at your character sheets so that you don't end up like me and draw your character in like several different ways. So for example, this is my film, and I didn't really have a character sheet or a character rotation for my characters. Like, I was just going with the flow, and then all of a sudden in my film, like, my character started looking different, So this is my character. Her name is Michelle. And yeah, when I first drew her, she looked like this, and her ears were like lower on her face. And then later on, she started looking like this. So you don't want to be like me and doing that. You want your character to look the same throughout your whole film. So don't do the mistake I did. And here's an example from Steven Universe. This is a character sheet to show the character's personality. So here we have Stevani, and here, like, as you can see from all the poses, you can see that she's very bouncy and energetic, and she's very positive. She has a ready to go personality. So yeah, I must say though that Stevonnie is not technically a she. She's a they them because she's a mixture of two genders. Anyways, that's off topic. Let's go on. So here is my character that I made up a couple lessons ago, the Robo Skater Girl, and I did a character rotation for her, and I made sure her eyes aligned, and I made sure her chin aligned, and her skirt, and her little knee things, and the shoes. Yeah, and even like her bow. This is not like the best thing I've ever done. Like, this character sheet could have been a bit better, but I just wanted to do it as an example for you guys. And I even have her in the corner here as just like a reference for when I was drawing her. And here are some action poses just to show her personality and even the story of her. So for example, she's a fighter, and she's a science experiment. I don't know why I put her in water when she's like a robot, but it's okay. She's adventurous, she likes to skate, so she's adventurous, and she's a caring person, so I showed her, petting a dog. So yeah, so these are just, poses I did just to show her personality and her story. So the next thing I want to show you guys is just something really short, and it's basically how to create an animatic. So basically, the way to create an animatic is first to have your storyboard ready, and then after you export your storyboard into a video editing software like Premiere Pro, for example, and you just adjust the length each frame that you have so that your film has good timing. And a way to export your storyboard sequence is you can go on TV Paint, you can go here and you can press export to, and you can export it as a sequence, and then just choose a folder to put your sequence in. I'm going to bring up my storyboard animatic to show more in detail what I'm talking about. So here is my storyboard animatic for my film that I'm still working on. It's like a part 2 of my film, and here I just imported all the images I have from when I was drawing it on TV Paint. So here is like I just adjusted the length of each frame so that it goes well with the timing. So like when I play it back, it's not too fast or too slow. And also you can add like sound and sound effects as well to your animatic. Actually, it would be a lot better if you do that as well. If you add sound to it, even if it's like just a rough edit of your story, it will give like whoever's looking at it an idea of what it will sound like, and then the person you're showing it to can give you feedback, And yeah, that's pretty much it. So my exercise for you guys is to create your own character sheet and rotation. So that's pretty much it for today's lesson. Thank you guys for joining, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!